although you won't know the difference unless you've plugged into the mult box. So if you would like to pick up the audio, please make sure you do that. And I'll ask everyone to announce loudly if they could, but should be able to hear everyone here. My name's Gary Abbott from USA Wrestling. I'd like to welcome you to our press conference for the World Team Trials, which will be held here in historic Gallagher-Iba Arena at Oklahoma State starting tomorrow and Saturday. This is one of the great venues for the sport of wrestling. So much history of wrestling has happened in this building over the course of more than a century of wrestling. And we'd like to let you know that the last time we had a World Team Trials event here was in 1989 when wrestling was part of the U.S. Olympic Festival here in the state of Oklahoma, and the wrestling competition was placed here at Gallagher-Iba. The winners went to the World Championships. It was a World Teams Trial event, but also affiliated with the Olympic Festival. And one of our guests won the gold medal at that tournament and also lit the torch for the Olympic Festival. So it's been a little while since we've been back here, but USA Wrestling very excited to have its premier senior level domestic event for each year held right here at Oklahoma State. Well, the winners of this competition over 2 days of wrestling will qualify to compete for the United States at the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary, which is this September. Each day we're going to have 9 different weight classes, 7, 7, and 4 are the breakdowns, freestyle, Greco, and women. We're only doing the 4 Olympic weights for women, and they'll determine the rest of the team later this summer. The first session begins at 11 o'clock. It's the challenge tournament, and the winners of that in freestyle and women go on to the finals. In Greco, the semifinal winners advance to the final series. We'll finish it up at 6 o'clock with the best 2 out of 3 championship series. And as you know, this has also been named an official Olympic Day event by the U.S. Olympic Committee. Olympic Day is this weekend. Actually, Sunday is the official day, but it's basically covers the whole weekend. And as you know, the sport of wrestling is currently working to maintain its status in the Olympic program. So being able to hold our biggest tournament with our top athletes during Olympic Day is a big deal for us. I'd like to let you know that this event will be shown live on the internet through Flow Wrestling, and it's going to be on national television on a taped delay basis on the Universal Sports Network. The premiere of that show is going to be happening July 18th at 8 p.m. It's a 2-hour show showing all the top action from this competition. So fans can watch it as it happens, and we also can see it on national television. I'd like to introduce a few people who might be available also for any questions, especially about the Keep Olympic Wrestling movement. Over in the back is Leroy Smith, Executive Director of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Leroy is also a member of CAPOW, which is the Committee for the Preservation of Olympic Wrestling. And Leroy could do a great job in answering any questions you might have about how we're doing in our quest to remain in the Olympics. Earlier I saw Jim Ravenak, President of USA Wrestling. He may also be available as he's here in the building. So with that, I'd like to tell you the format. I'm going to ask each person a question, and then we will open up for questions. When we're done with all 5, we'll have the opportunity to do one-on-ones with any of the athletes, coaches, or participants here. And I'm going to ask our guys again to speak into the microphone because this is being filmed, sent to our television stations, and placed all over the place as video. So anyway, my first guest is a legend in wrestling, 2-time Olympic champion, 4-time world champion, Olympic coach, and has coached many NCAA championship teams right here at Oklahoma State, Mr. John Smith. Coach, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. First, would like to know your thoughts about having the opportunity to host the World Team Trials again here at Gallagher-Iba Arena.
We're excited about it, and first off, it takes a lot of people to make this event happen, and I'm a very small part of it. My staff, along with the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Leroy Smith and his staff, and of course our administration, Dave Martin, and his people have put a lot of time and effort into making this weekend a great weekend for these athletes. So we're excited about it, but we keep in mind all the people that are involved in making this happen, and we have a lot here in Stillwater that's really volunteers to obviously our administration to make this happen.
So, Coach, could you talk about the OSU wrestlers in the field? You've got athletes that wrestled here years ago, others that are just joining the freestyle circuit, quite an Oklahoma State flavor in our field, and how they're doing, your expectations, and how they're looking going into trials.
We have five senior level athletes that wrestled here at Oklahoma State, and 3 of them are training here in Stillwater, and 2 of them are at the University of Wyoming with Mark Branch. I can speak a little bit more about the guys that are here. Obi Blanc obviously had a great national championship, won it. He's sitting at the top. He's going to wait for the winner coming out of that mini tournament and to wrestle 2 out of 3. He's prepared well. He's had a very good year, and really seems to be wrestling his best right now that he's ever wrestled. Of course, Coleman Scott coming off that bronze medal, and this past year in 2012. It's a different challenge when you're coming off with a medal. It takes a little bit more effort, takes a little bit more focus, and just seen his best days probably the last 10 days. Seems like a lot of things come together for him when it counts most, and I know he's excited, and I'll just tell you he'll be ready to wrestle. Jordan Oliver, who obviously wrestled a full season for us this year, won his 2nd national championship. 4-time All-American, finished 2nd at Nationals, Freestyle Nationals. Very tough weight class. He's going to have his best day, and he's been known to give us great days. So we look good. Of course, Chris Pendleton and Clayton Foster both at Wyoming. I know that they've trained well, and they're looking forward to the event. On Sunday, we have 9 FILA guys wrestling, FILA juniors. Definitely hoping to put a few guys on the world team at that level as well. So, as you know, as you walk in the gym, how important freestyle wrestling has been to Oklahoma State. It's not just me. It was way before me. We have 13 Olympic champions, dating all the way back to 1932. So it's been a big part of our program for a long, long time, and this arena that we're getting ready to wrestle in is named after Coach Gallagher. Ed Gallagher was a pioneer of collegiate wrestling from the standpoint of establishing the rules to helping young coaches develop their programs. So it's a great day, and I don't want to go without saying that the arena we're in is from one of our greatest leaders in the sport of wrestling ever, and that's Ed Gallagher. So we're excited about it and look forward to it.
Any questions for Coach Smith? Raise your hand. Okay, John, could you pass on the microphone, please? To his left is one of our top freestyle stars in the United States, the 2012 Olympic bronze medalist, and of course the past national champion here at Oklahoma State, Coleman Scott, who will be wrestling tomorrow at 60 kilograms, 132 pounds. Coleman, last year was one of your most successful years in freestyle, and really came together for you in London. And you've chosen to continue wrestling another Olympic cycle and pursuing other goals. Talk about how you feel you're competing now, going into trials, and what you think it'll take to make yourself a member of this World Championships team.
I feel great. Like Coach said, my last 10 days have probably been my best. Feel a lot similar to last summer and everything, the preparation that we put in, and really just looking forward to getting back in Gallagher. Didn't think I'd get to wrestle in there again. I actually took 3rd last time I wrestled there in 2008, so looking to just get in there and put on a show for our fans and have a home crowd behind me again.
As an Olympic medalist, what's it been like for you to enter competitions where people are aware of what your achievements are? How do you approach it now?
It's definitely different. They're all gunning for you. Before, nobody really looked at me or really knew who I was, and so it's definitely put a little bullseye on you, but you have to Coach always said, you know, if you don't have pressure, then you aren't winning. You know, so it's a good kind of pressure to have, and you know, you just got to go with it and make the most of it.
Any questions for Coleman?
Can you talk to what family means? I mean, wrestling here in front of, you know, where your history is made, but also as family, for your family in your sponsorship, but you
Yeah.
got a tremendous support behind you and your family. Talk about family.
Yeah, you know, when we went to London last year, we had like 95 or 96 people there, and you know, I think this year here we have somewhere around 50. You know, so it's always a big following, and you know, they really just enjoy the sport and enjoy the atmosphere, and they use it sort of as their vacation to come out and hang out, and you know, so it's always there. You know, in my mind, I want to. If they're going to pay the money to come out, I want to make sure I make the most of it, and you know, make them happy. And a lot of it's, you know, going out there and winning. And you know, I know they don't think like that, but I do. You know, and it's not a pressure or anything. It's just sort of what I like to do and what I feel I need to do for them, because they are. Without them, none of this would be possible.
Other questions for Coleman?
Yeah, the guy sitting next to you there, when the rules changed, he said he woke up and he was so excited because it takes freestyle back to a little bit of the collegiate style, especially in the scoring. Jordan thought it was a huge advantage for him. You've been out of the collegiate into the freestyle for a while. The new rule changes. How do you adjust, and how does it affect you?
Anybody that comes through the Oklahoma State room is going to be excited about them. You know, we're an offensive-minded room. You know, it's just we like to score. We like to have great technique, and so I think those rules do benefit us. 2-point takedown, you know, when that's what most of your work's put in at is on your feet, and you have the best in the world teaching you. You know, so I think, you know, for all of us coming through this room, you know, it was we were all happy. I don't think you're ever going to hear somebody from here mumbling about how they want to go back here and try to steal periods. You know, so I think it was good for us, and you know, I think you know, we all look at it, and I haven't heard anybody in our room complaining. You know, it is what it is. You can't change it, so don't worry about it. Just go out there and wrestle, and it'll take care of itself.
Other questions at this point?
Okay, well, do you think it changes the way, you're talking about your room, Roche's room, do you think it changes the way everybody else may wrestle? Were they going to see guys that normally don't open up, maybe open up more now? Or
I hope so. You know, I don't know. I'm not one to watch other people, really. I don't watch really film or anything, and don't really worry about anybody else. You know, if we can't control it and be in our room, then it's really out of my mind. You know, out of sight, out of mind. I don't know. It's just sort of how I've always thought. It's, you know, if you're going to worry about something that you can't control, and you're going to be just spinning your wheels. You know, so I've always just gone with it. You know, the whole circumstances last summer. You know, it is what it is. You just gotta go. You gotta go earn it. Nothing's given to you. You know, and that's the way I'm thinking this year going in, and you know, that's the way we think.
Other questions? To his left is another athlete who made some great history here at Oklahoma State, winning 2 NCAA titles, just completing his college career this year, and walked right from the college season and took second in the national championships in freestyle, Mr. Jordan Oliver. Jordan, I'd like to ask you initially your thought about being able to wrestle in the World Team Trials here in your home gym at Gallagher-Iba, and how that might help you even take the next step to being the champion.
I think it's unbelievable that the World Team Trials came here to Stillwater. It definitely gives you a sense of being comfortable, but also at the end of the day, I still have to go out there and perform my best, and at the top level, I know how to perform. But I think it's a benefit to me walking out and having the hometown crowd behind me, and my followers and supporters that have been with me for the past 5 years competing here at Oklahoma State, and being able to get out there and compete to make a world team, my first world team, in front of all those people that have supported me. So it's definitely motivation, but I'm excited to get out there again in Gallagher and compete.
Jordan, you've been a junior world medalist, and you've obviously continued to wrestle freestyle during college. Do you feel that as a freestyle wrestler, you're at a spot in your wrestling preparation and abilities to make this world team and to go to the world championships and be a world champion this year?
I believe so. Our preparation leading up to the World Team Trials and hopefully leading up to World Championships has been good, and I think as a whole, we're prepared to go out and perform our best. I honestly think I can improve in a lot more areas, but I have a lot of time to work on those things. And going into tomorrow, I have a tough weight class, and just getting out there and letting things fly, not holding back anything. And with the new rule changes, there's more opportunity to take more risks and stuff like that. So I think getting out there tomorrow and just performing like I know how to perform, everything will fall into place. And leading up into the World Championships, I definitely think I'll be well prepared heading into that.
Coach Smith said that you were incredible, that your performance, your preparation has just been getting better every single day. We saw it in Los Angeles. Talk to us about those 2 bouts in Los Angeles.
That was the first time the new rules were presented to us, and we got to really wrestle under the new rules with 2-point takedowns. And really that's all I needed to hear, 2-point takedowns, and the aggressors being awarded and no more clinches. So like I said, it opened up more opportunity to take more risks, not being nervous to get in front headlock positions and get under guys. There's a lot more scoring opportunities. And in those 2 bouts in LA, as you saw, you can be down 4-0 as I was, or 6-2, and come back with the new rules. And I just think it's a great thing to help me, and not just me, but offensive guys. There's a lot of action, and there's a lot of scoring positions happening now in the new rules. So like I said, just get out there and demonstrate everything I've been preparing for, and let things fly, and everything will fall into place.
So,
Can you talk about how having John Smith and Olympic bronze medalists like Coleman, Scott, how it helps you prepare even mentally and get ready for a big tournament like this?
That means everything. Knowing Coach Smith's credentials and everything he has done and has to offer and help us with. He's been through it all, so anything I can do or say, or just listen to him. And coming from Coleman, you know, traveling all last year in the Olympic Games, and same thing goes with Coleman. You know, these guys have been through it, and I'm new to the circuit, but just listening to them and anything they have to offer for advice, you know, taking it in, being a sponge, soaking it up, and that has been really big for me with mental preparation and also my wrestling. You know, these guys have gone through the circuits and the process I'm just entering, so it has been a huge factor for me.
other questions?
You wrestle with Coleman a lot? Practice?
Yes, we wrestle a lot. More so drill and spar.
Who won the last go?
We don't really wrestle live go, so more sparring and drilling, and we'll just keep it at that.
Everybody
We
keeps
haven't wrestled live in a
score.
while.
Everybody
It's been a
keeps
while.
score.
He's too big, man. He's a big guy now. I'm a small guy.
All right, fair enough.
Anything else? Okay, thank you so much. To Jordan's left is one of our nation's top women's freestyle wrestlers, native of Texas. She came here to Oklahoma City University for college, and at this point has improved to the point where she enters our World Team Trials as our U.S. Open National Champion at 72 kilograms, Brittney Roberts. Brittney, this year you've really been able to have some great performances, winning medals overseas and beating top opponents to win our U.S. Open championship. What in your mind is different for you this year than in the other years when you were competing but not able to get those achievements?
In the last 4 years, I never really competed to my full potential, I don't think. And it just got to my senior year, and it was like either I have to do it or just let it go. And I just let all the pressure off and performed, and this is where it's taken me.
And now that you're here, I mean, do you see more for yourself based on how you've wrestled in the last few months as far as your personal goals and the things that you want to do as a wrestler?
Yes, it's opened up so many like doors, and I can see like the bigger picture now. Before I was just, wrestling with a college mindset, not really thinking about the bigger picture. Like it's always been in the back of my mind, but I've never really believed until now. And it just, this whole entire semester has really opened up for me, and I've really been able to overcome feats that I haven't before. So,
Tell us how important in your career was the decision to go to Oklahoma City University and participate in that program, and what being part of the OCU women's team has meant to you and as a wrestler and a person.
being a part of that team has meant so much to me. Those girls are awesome. It's like a whole nother family around them. Moving from Texas to there, it was like gaining a whole new family, and they've really brought me so far. Like going to that university opened so many doors for me. Like I would never have been able to afford to go to these tournaments or come to these tournaments and compete, and those coaches put me right in that spotlight to be able to go to these tournaments and compete and succeed and whatnot.
Any questions?
Coach Randall said that this is one of the toughest group of athletes he's ever worked with, and he's talking about his women, and you're one of them. Coach Randall is a legend in the state, not only at the high school level, but what he's been able to do at the college level as well. What's it like working for and wrestling for Coach Randall?
It's tough. Like he puts us through good workouts. He mentally prepares us. I guess he wants us to be the best, and he just really allows us to like all these opportunities to go to these tournaments, and he just put so much opportunity in my path. So.
Sir?
Yeah, I was curious, about a month ago, I asked John Smith about women's wrestling here at Gallagher-Iba Arena, and he said as far as he knew, and John knows more about it than anybody I know, there'd never been a competitive women's match on the floor here at this arena. How much appreciation do you have for the history of the sport, and how special is it for women's freestyle competitors to get a chance to wrestle in this venue?
It's such an honor to be here and to be able to wrestle here. I honestly didn't know that no one has wrestled here, or no women. But it's such a huge honor because I know OSU wrestling is huge here. John Smith is a great coach, and it's just a huge honor to be here and be able to wrestle in this tournament, and it's just a great honor to be here.
Anyone else? Thanks, Brittney. Could pass on the microphone. On our far end is one of America's best Greco-Roman talents, 2013 U.S. Open champion Jordan Holm. Jordan trains with the Hall of Fame coach Dan Chandler and a number of other top Greco athletes up in Minnesota. Jordan, last year you placed second at the Olympic trials, just short of your dream, and you've come back very strong this season. So could you talk about maybe some of the things you learned through the process of wrestling at this high level for the last few seasons that you think might give you an edge tomorrow to make that world team?
Well, this is one of the tournaments that we prepare for all year long. Something I've been looking forward to from the very beginning. Like you said, I think that since this last year when I took second in the Olympic team trials, I actually took second in the world team trials, then second in the Olympic team trials, and now I'm back and looking to actually make the first world team on the senior level. And I think one of the things that's really helped me out this season and had some pretty consistent success throughout the season is just putting together a consistent training center in Minnesota having a good number of people to train and work out with. Last year, basically, just me and one other guy who were training really hard to try to come back and get ready for the Olympic trials. This year we brought full room, full team. We have 9 guys from the Minnesota Training Center representing in Greco. We have a number of guys representing from the freestyle side. And, we won the national team title as a team, and we had 8 All-Americans out of our 9 guys. 8 of them were All-Americans. 4 of us were in the top 5, and 3 finalists, 2 national champions. So we're bringing a very packed, loaded team, and underneath the everyday coaching of Dan Chandler. Like you said, he was just inducted into John Smith's National Wrestling Hall of Fame here. It's quite an honor. And Brandon Paulson, who's an Olympic silver medalist for us in '96, who's also coaching us. And so when we get together, a group in a room like that, or people who all have a similar goal, it really helps out, it really brings us along, and I've benefited a lot from that. And I think that's why we're here with such a loaded team ready to go.
And I haven't asked the other guys this, but as an athlete, I mean, you're well aware of what's going on with the effort to keep wrestling in the Olympic Games, and was curious your thoughts about what it's been like to be an athlete at this time when the sport of wrestling is being challenged and asked to show the world that wrestling belongs at the Olympic level. Your thoughts about that, and maybe the way you approach wrestling at this time.
I think, right when the news first hit, I remember I was in Cuba and Frazier came to breakfast and we were all kind of getting ready to go to the practice or whatever, and he was somber and he's like, well, obviously you guys haven't checked your email. And since it cost $20 an hour down there, of course we hadn't known Frazier had. And I think it kind of struck us as, it was a very big blow, and I'll never forget where I was, but I think that right from the beginning, I appreciated the comments I heard from Royce Alger and Zeke Jones and Steve Frazier and a number of us as we just sat around and talked about how we think this could be a good thing for wrestling. I think it's going to bring out our personality as a community, and you're going to kind of see some people who, when you're training hard here in Oklahoma State's rooms and rooms all around the country, you get this kind of tenacity, this spirit that wrestlers are known for, that I really like to see, and I think that's kind of been our response. I think we've been very respectful in our response. We've taken we heeded the advice. We've been coachable. We've heeded the advice that we've been given, and I think we're doing the right things. And hopefully, the IOC will see that, and I think they have so far with a successful vote to put us in the top 3 last month. And we're looking forward to September. Hopefully, they'll retain us as a sport. So I think that you kind of see a mirroring of what it is that we're taught as athletes and how the approach that we take to the mat is a similar approach that we're taking to this. This moment. Hopefully it's a teaching, coachable moment, and I think that so far we've responded very well to that. Just in kind with the rules, I think that these rules have been fantastic, but they are very fundamental changes to the way that we wrestle now, these rule changes. And, like Coleman Scott was saying, I haven't heard a wrestler complain about them. I mean, I've heard all these wrestlers I've ever heard talk is just, we're excited. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go out there, we're going to wrestle with these new rules, we're going to bring it. Scoreboards are going to show this. It's exciting. It's fun. It's easier for the fans. Cumulative scoring. People understand it. We get it. And so I'm excited. I watched Jordan Oliver finish his matches at the in LA. I was excited. That was a great match. I liked watching him finish those matches. And so I look forward to it. It's always kind of fit into my style to go out there and have the moment. Hopefully break your opponent. Physically, mentally break them down, and that's what happens when you have 6 minutes of cumulative scoring. Bringing it the whole time, you can kind of get that to happen. So I look forward to it.
Any questions for Jordan at this point, Scott?
Talk about the Olympic trials, Iowa City. I remember talking with you a bit in the back hall, and I think at that time you said you were disappointed in your performance. And to me, it looked like the guy just gave everything. What's different between then and what we potentially will see this week?
Well, I think any athlete who just lost one of their dreams, one of the things they've been fighting for quite a while, and for me it's been put on a back burner in quite a dramatic way, and being brought back out and given that opportunity that I was given, I was certainly disappointed. I've always had success against Betts before, and I think that to a huge credit to him, he improved tremendously in parterre, particularly in offense, and was able to turn me. And in the moments following the tournament, as I'm sure it's been for a lot of athletes, it's a little bit of a gut check. Where are your goals? What's your trajectory? Where it is you want to go? And it took me a little bit to align myself and get my bearings set and geared towards 2016. And so far this season, I feel like I've been able to make successful strides in that direction. So excited about what's ahead.
Willie?
Yeah, Jordan, you've always been right at the top, but in the last 6 months, I think the consensus would be that you're the guy now. Is that the way you feel, that you're the front runner for this spot?
You know, the way it is, I mean, if you win the U.S. Open, you're seeded number one. I've never really cared about that. That's not really the way I look at it. I don't want to get too philosophical, but the way I look at it is I believe that I'm a product of my creator. I believe he's given me with certain talents that I want to go out on the mat and use them in a way to glorify him. I don't see myself as some amazing person or anything like that, but I do want to use the abilities I've been given in a maximal way. And if it's God's will that I win and make the world team, and that's the talents he's given me, then, you know, praise God. But I do think I have a very talented weight class of a lot of guys who've been around for quite a while and have had a lot of success themselves. You know, I was joking with Dake, I'm not going 74. I know that's what everybody else is doing these days. but it's not, you know, I'm not trying to say it's, you know, I don't have Kyle Dake and all those guys in the weight class. But that's going to be fun to watch tomorrow. I'm kind of going to be looking out from behind and seeing what I can see from that match, you know, but also try to stay focused on what I'm trying to accomplish. But yeah, you know, my weight class, nobody's at this level competing, training every day full time without a lot of talent behind them. And so yeah, my expectation is to win. You know, I do believe, you know, Frazier signs all his emails, expect to win. I believe that is the approach you need to have when you walk out on the mat.
Other questions at this point for Jordan or any of the others here?
They said you had to cut your hair tomorrow. Would you do it?
Yep, but my fiance would be probably the loudest protester. She would be upset with that, so I'm okay with it the way it is, however.
Any other questions? Okay, at this point, if you'd like to talk individually with any of our athletes or guests, of course, some of our Kapow people that are here as well. Rich Bender from USA Wrestling's Executive Director has joined us as well. We thank you for being here, and we'll see you here at Gallagher-Iver next few days.